All right, traders, we are live from Colombia. With that being said, I'm going to prepare you to trade the best setups at the best prices heading into this week. I'm going to show you exactly step by step how we are planning to trade the SPY. We're going to be going over the key levels, whether to be buying calls or puts, going long or short at these key levels. Let's get straight into the analysis. So in terms of the SPY, we ended up having a massive red day, down 2%, over 8 points on the day. With that being said, I want to bring awareness to two possibilities that I'm seeing on the daily chart. And this is what I want you to understand. So in terms of tomorrow, I see this playing out in two possibilities. The first possibility would be this. See how this candlestick, in a sense, how SPY gaps down, it opens up lower than it previously closes. And it kind of looks like it did the same thing today, right? So look at this green candle, and then you have a red bearish candlestick gapping down. And then look at this green candle, then you have a red bearish candlestick gapping down. What does it do the next day? Well, if it rises above the closing price, which would be $399, and you see $399 reacting as a support level, and you see $400 tomorrow, $400 breaking above, reacting as a support level, then the SPY is going to go super bullish like it did the next day, right? After forming this red bearish candlestick, and it's going to start to recover and fill the gap at $407.26. That's our first possibility for a bear trap. Now, in order for this to be a bear trap heading into tomorrow, it needs to hold above $399 and it needs to break above $400 and turn $400 into support. If that occurs, it's going to be a bear trap, and they're going to start to push it back up to fill the gap above, like this pattern occurred right here at the same price. So that's what I need you to be aware of in terms of the first possible case scenario for the gap fill play. If you see it holding above $399 and it breaks above $400 and it reacts bullish and it's forming a floor, you're going to want to be scalping calls to rise and fill the gap above, and you're going to want to really start scaling out towards the low 400s. 402, 403, 404. Now, let's talk about the potential bull trap heading into tomorrow. So the reason why I don't like the idea personally of shorting the SPY and looking for a bull trap is because the short-term bottom is near. This is the other possibility that I'm seeing. See how the SPY forms this red bearish candlestick right here, and then the next day it gaps down. So if the SPY gaps down tomorrow, it's going to try to pop back up to $399, and they're going to try to turn that into resistance and close it over all week. So where would it kind of close and kind of go down if $399 does gap down and react as a resistance? It would be on track to sell off to $397.60 to $396 in between that zone. So what I'm telling you is, if we gap down, that's a bearish sign. And if you see $399.09 react as a resistance level, they're going to try to sell it off to about $397.50, right? I would not be aiming for big on puts. If it gaps down, it's likely going to be bearish, but I would not be aiming for big wins at such an oversold level. Now, if we gap up, or if we can just hold above $399 and turn $400 into a floor, that's when that bear trap is going to get created, and we're going to go super bullish to start to fill the gap at 407.26. So we don't know if we're going to gap down or gap up tomorrow. We have to wait and see, but we do know the bull and bear trap. If it gaps down, it's likely going to be a short-term micro bear trap where you can try to scalp a put at $399.09. Even if it gaps down, I'm not going to be attracted to really doing anything at these levels, because even though it could have micro bearish and have a small little drop like it did here, it's gonna get to a point where we start to recover and we start to push back up to fill these gaps that are waiting to fill above. I don't want to try to milk puts even if it looks bearish. I would rather just sit on the sidelines, right? It's not just about the best setups, which, you know, $399, if it gaps down, we play puts for the gap close reversal. It's also about the best setups at the best prices, right? So that's what I want you to understand heading into tomorrow's price action. If we gap down, $399 is going to react as a resistance. They're going to try to pull it back to $397.50. If we gap up, or if we're turning $399 to support and it breaks above $400, super bullish, the micro bear trap is going to kick in and the gap from 407 is going to start to fill. That's what you need to know heading into tomorrow for the bull and bear traps. Use that information to your advantage to make money heading into the market open. Now, in terms of later this week, these are things that I want to bring awareness to. This is the level right here. We have a gap to fill at $413.90, something like that, right? That's the best level to swing trade puts and to day trade puts. Whenever it happens, it's going to happen. I have my price alerts set for that trade to trade the best setups at the best prices. You must patiently wait to trade the best setup at the best prices. And if you do that, you do very, very well. So for those of you who are watching this channel, what I'm telling you is whenever SPY goes back to 414, that's where you're going to want to gain a lot of interest in trading and swing trading puts. If it reacts bearish towards the market close, if the candlestick looks bearish, perfect entry for swing trading puts. In terms of some other levels that I want to bring awareness to, we have a gap to fill at $408 and we have a gap to fill at 407. So in terms of where are we in terms of the current state of the market? We are getting to a point where the bottom is near and the next bear trap is going to be set. So we have to take it one step at a time. It's going to be coming soon. In order for it to be tomorrow, it has to gap up, or they just have to hold above $399 and they need to break above $400, turn into support. If they cannot do that, if it gaps down, if $399 remains resistance, then it's not time for the bear trap yet, and they will send this to the next overall support level on the daily chart, which is going to be right here towards $397.60, right? So this is a very, very simple game plan. We're going to draw our levels right here, 399.09. This is our make or break level. If the SPY holds above this, it's going to be a super bullish day. If it breaks above $400, it's going to skyrocket. The bear trap's going to kick in. They're going to start to fill the gap from 407, right? In terms of our best level possible for puts, we're waiting for 414. No matter how long it takes, it's going to happen. And for those who patiently wait for that opportunity and who have cash to deploy in that opportunity, instead of trading terrible setups at terrible prices, those are going to be the ones who get the best results into this year. You must patiently wait to trade the best setups along with the best prices. We are all aware of the best trading strategy, which is the gap close reversal strategy. If you want to learn more about the strategy, click on the second link in the description below. And that playlist is going to walk you through the strategy step by step. It'll really help you out and show you the consistency and profitability of it working, along with all the videos on this channel. And you want to use it at the best prices. 414 is the best price. I'm also going to be keeping an eye on 408 and 407 gaps. But in terms of what I can tell you and the best information that I can give you right now, in terms of it being useful for the time being, 414 in the future is going to be your best level for puts. In terms of right here, right now, we are due for a micro bear trap. In order for this pattern to repeat and for history to repeat itself, you need to see a double bottom, right? So I showed you the pattern. You need to see a double bottom at $399. Break above $400, it's gonna skyrocket to fill the gap. That's all it has to do. Now, if it doesn't gap up, if there's no double bottom at $399 and it gaps down, then it's gonna be puts at $399. For a small drops, $397.60. You have to be extremely safe with puts at these levels with hard stops because we're due for a bear trap, right? And you have to use very, very tight stops in that sense. It's make or break. $399 is make or break. With that being said, even if it does react bearish, we're still due for that, that bear trap heading into this week. But if it doesn't have the double bottom, it's going to be the bearish pattern. And what's going to happen is it will likely be something like this. A small overall pullback where the previous closing price, which will be $399.09 for tomorrow, reacts as a resistance and they sell it off about $2 from the previous closing price. That is the most likable outcome if it gaps down. Tomorrow should be a very simple day. If you use this information, you should have a phenomenal green trading day heading into tomorrow. It is your responsibility to use this information properly and to identify if it's going to be a bull or bear trap. Never stick to one thesis. If it's reacting as a floor, you should be long biased, especially if it gaps up and double bottoming. If it's gapping down and reacting as a roof, you should be short biased. Just because you're short biased doesn't mean you try to make money and take the trade, because trading is more than just making money. You have to actually trade the best setups at the best prices. Yes, if $399 gaps down and reacts as a resistance, we could see a small pullback to $397.50, but it's not the greatest trade and the greatest thing to aim for because there's so many gaps to fill above, and as time goes on, these gaps will start to fill. So that's where we are in terms of the current state of the market. This video should help you very, very well profit heading into tomorrow. Now, another one that I'm looking at is Roku. I'm extremely interested in this setup. What I want to do with this one is I want to play for the gap to fill. So look at this pattern on Roku, man. Look at this pattern right here. See how Roku gaps up? It opens up higher than it previously closes right here. And then it forms like this bearish doji. And then it starts to downtrend. And then it forms this green bullish doji. And then it sells off 2 days hard in a row to fill the gap. I want you to compare the left-hand side of this screen. These are daily candles, 1 day's worth of price action, to the right-hand side of this screen. And you tell me if you're starting to see the pattern that's beginning to develop in a sense. So Roku had a gap up here and it started to fill the gap, and it went under and it even went below and crashed lower than the gap. It didn't really have a reversal. It actually had a little reversal right here. But the point is, Roku gapped up, it filled the gap, and then it cracked the gap support and it sold off even higher. It's doing the same thing. Look at this. This is called pattern recognition, right? So compare these candlesticks to Roku stock. Look at these candles. They're all aligning to a very similar pattern of history repeating itself. We're going at one by one candlestick at a time, right? So you see how this is looking nearly identical. You see how this is setting up identical. So where we are in terms of this pattern is we can be right around here. So there can be a big drop on Roku stock where it goes to right here, which would be $63.50. And then they're going to try to reverse it at that level, but within time, it's going to crack $63.50. Then it sells off to $57, and that'd be the best level to buy calls right here at the gap to fill towards this $56.50 gap, right? So the best price for puts would be at $71.56 once Roku fills this gap. If you see it reacting bearish at $65.63 tomorrow, you can try scalping puts. It has to react bearish, but the best price for puts is $71.56. Point being is, based off the pattern overall this week, it is going to try to go lower and it's going to try to fill the gap. And the gap is at $63.50, right? But you don't want to get caught in a bear trap. So you have to be careful. The best price is at $71.56. $65.63 is make or break. If I see $65.63 react as a resistance level, I'm going to short it at the lower level. Obviously, I'll use a tight stop, and I would play much heavier size at $71.56 because that's the best price, the best setup. So the two levels that I'm watching are going to be $65.63, that's the make or break support, and $71.56. I'm only interested in shorting and buying puts. Make or break levels, $71.56 is the best level. The pattern shows that it's going to try to fill the gap and go lower within time. So it's set up for a swing trade. And the best level to swing trade those puts would be $71.56. So we got to wait and see, but that's another stock that I've been keeping on my radar. So with that being said, if you want to join Trader Society, now is the best time to join Trader Society. It is the first link down below in the description. It is a one-time fee. You get lifetime access to everything that's included within Trader Society, which is the live trading streams, the voice channel, the community, the networking opportunities, along with the Discord server and the video lesson library that's going to teach you the entire trading system that it is I've created to master the gap trading strategies, along with risk management, position sizing, and psychology. I'm telling you guys, this is the best time to get started. There is nothing like trading. It gives you time, location. It gives you, time, location. You have all the time in the world. These are very quick scalps, planned strategically ahead with price alerts, trading the best setup, set of best prices. It's a trading system. It gives you location freedom. You can do this from anywhere in the world, and it gives you financial freedom. It is the best job, and I would really encourage you to get started now. It's going to be the first link down below in the description. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open as always, and I will be in the chat room from here. I'm looking forward to working with you guys.